Welcome back to Tigers Talk. We're so excited that you're here with us today. Today marks the third episode of our second season. I'm your host, Samantha Avila.
And I'm your co-host, Caitlin Kirby. I cannot wait to keep fellow students up to date with what's going on our campus.
We'll be back after this.
Welcome back to our Community Countdown, where we help our students be in the know of their Auburn community. This week we have 5 new events that students, faculties, and Auburn residents should be aware of. And in our number 1 spot, Auburn University was awarded $7.8 million in COVID relief funds. This was made possible by the U.S. Department of Education and the Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund. How important do you think this is for students, Samantha?
I think it's really important, Caitlin. I think the university being able to provide these funds for students that probably need it a little bit more than maybe other ones did is a great idea, and I'm glad that they were able to do this. Coming up in our number 2 spot, in our previous show we had discussed that Auburn University was changing their limit on capacity from 50 to 100 people. However, now it has changed to 150. Caitlin, are you excited about this?
I'm so excited. I think we are on the way back to normalcy. And in our number 3 spot, last week, Auburn University housed a virtual symposium event to show this year's student research and creative scholarship. More than 350 students attended this event from Auburn University and Auburn University at Montgomery.
And in our number 4 spot, graduating students, don't forget to order your cap and gowns before April 9th. If you do so afterward, there will be an additional $25 late fee. Make sure that you bring your photo ID and proof of purchase to pick up your cap and gown April 26th to May 1st.
And in our number 5 spot, President Jay Gogue released a statement regarding the recent hate shootings in Atlanta. He says, "Hatred, intolerance, and violence against the Asian community is unacceptable. As a land-grant institution, Auburn University draws its strengths from a wide range of individuals with varying backgrounds, perspectives, viewpoints, and experiences." Auburn University also created a bias incident form for students and faculty to fill out when they are experiencing any prejudices against them.
Coming up is our interview segment with Mike Reynolds and Caitlin Kirby. We'll be back after this.
All right, welcome back to the interview segment of Tigers Talk. I'm your co-host, Caitlin Kirby, and today I have the honor of chatting with a very special guest, Mr. Mike Reynolds. He is the Executive Director of Student Financial Services here at Auburn, and he is an advisor to the Albie the Tiger, our favorite mascot. So thank you for joining me, Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so we'll just get into it. First, I'd like to ask you about your position as Executive Director of Student Services. What would you say is the most rewarding part of your daily work?
Actually working with the students, advising the students and the parents. I think it's very important to spend as much time as I need to make them feel it as much at home as Auburn as I can. And try to share a lot of what they're asking me is where the money is. And so I try to give them sort of advice that I didn't get when I was a student at Auburn. And I'm a really more of a hands-on director. I don't just sit in the office. I like to have the students come in to see me. I tell them at Camp War Eagle, if I'm in the office, if you ask for me, you can see me.
I'm sure the students feel so grateful that you are so personable and that they can come sit in your office and have a conversation with you, because sometimes students can be intimidated by people who work for the university and just not feel comfortable, but I know that the students appreciate you so much. So we're going to move on, and I heard that you were an advisor to the Albie program. So tell me more about that and what you enjoy about it.
Right now, I'm sort of in emeritus status. I've put in 16 years, and I've got 4 grandchildren, and they're all under the age of 4, but they are growing, and I know they're eventually going to want to go to the ball games, and I want to basically experience that with them. But the whole experience with the Albie program is just, I can't really explain. Because we're part of the SGA and not part of athletics, it's a student-run organization. And so my position was always to let the students do as much as they can on their own. Um, and basically the way the program's set up is we have assistant directors that have duties. And then of course we have the Friends of Albee, and there's a head Albee. The head Albee basically is like a CEO. And so I guess just seeing them develop and just the differences of the students. We've had everything from, we've had vet students, we've had people ended up being doctors, lawyers, school principals, and a lot of them go on to be professional mascots. So that's all interesting. But I think the main thing is just watching and seeing how the program develops them and how the program changes as we go. When I first started, Albee got in trouble quite a bit with athletics because he would try to push the bar, I guess. And now Albee's just got it exactly. He knows what he can do. He does have some slip ups sometimes, but they're not intentional. I can promise you that.
Yeah, I'm sure that you have seen so many students grow throughout their time in the program, and just I'm sure it's amazing getting to watch and see what they do after they leave Auburn.
Yeah, one thing too is going to nationals, which is in Orlando, and just the feeling, because I know how much work they put into that championship. The only feeling I can compare it to is an Iron Bowl, because that's how nervous I get, because I want every year for them to win a national championship, but they don't always do it, but they are always in the top two.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they certainly do Auburn proud. And he's an ambassador. He's not a mascot to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
he is well known all over the country. So
yes.
Way to go, Albee. All right. So it is obvious that you love Auburn University, but let's switch gears and talk about the Auburn community. Are you an Auburn native, or how did you get here?
My brother attended Auburn. My sister attended Auburn. I eventually came to Auburn, but I was actually an Alabama fan before I came to Auburn. I was from Montgomery. Generally, that's what you do. You have to choose a school. I had an uncle that had played briefly for Alabama under Bear Bryant. My dad was a huge Alabama fan. I came up from our first ball game. It was Duke. Doug Barfield was the coach. We won, but I had seats in the end zone in the student section. And I know it sounds cliche, but I was part of the Auburn family from that time on. And I just never, if anything, it just grew stronger and stronger. Both my daughters attended Auburn, graduated from Auburn. They never looked at anywhere else, probably because they knew their dad wouldn't pay for anywhere else. And they both work at Auburn now. So that's we're just an Auburn family. But my wife's originally, from when she was 2 years old, she grew up here in Auburn. So I was such a big Auburn fan. After I attended school here, people said that I had to find a wife that grew up in Auburn. And we got married at the Auburn United Methodist Church. So I'm pretty native.
Yeah, for sure. Both of my parents are huge Alabama fans, so we have that in common. I understand that you are a founding member of the Phils, which is a men's auxiliary to this nonprofit organization. So can you tell me about the goals of this group and how students can potentially get involved?
They do have a student philanthropy board group that certainly students could get involved with. Going back, both my daughters work for the College of Human Sciences. One of them is the event planner for the college. The other one actually works in the Carey Center for Philanthropy and Nonprofit. And her job is to develop and conduct the camps that they have, like Camp I Care. They work with the Boys and Girls Ranch, all of those type things. And then going back, being the only man in a house of 3 women, it's very important to me that women be self-sufficient, not only financially, emotionally, so that they can take care of themselves. And that's what the Women's Philanthropy Board does. That's one. 2, I don't think you can show me any man that has not been positively influenced by a female. And so this gives men an opportunity to help support the females once. That's why it's called the auxiliary arm of Women's Philanthropy Board. And yes, I was one of the first members, and I've been a member the entire time. But that's really what's important to me, is I've really tried to raise my daughters to be able to take care of themselves and not have to rely solely on a husband.
That is awesome. And today, women are killing it in the workforce, and I'm sure your daughters are eternally grateful for your support throughout their lives. All right, well, I think that about wraps it up, but I want to thank you again for joining me today. I enjoyed getting to know you and hear about your love for Auburn. On behalf of Tigers Talk and Eagle Eye TV, I'd like to thank you for your dedication to Auburn University. You've impacted so many students' lives, and I am sure that you will continue to do so for many years to come.
I hope so.
All right, well, this concludes the interview segment, and we'll see you guys after the break.
Welcome back to Say What, where you can be a part of our show. This week we asked students, what are your plans for the summer? Are you interning, starting a new job, or staying in Auburn?
Our first response comes from Maddie B., who said, I've got an internship in Nashville, so I'm able to stay at home and commute over the summer. Maddie, that's extremely impressive. I'm very proud of you. I think having internships, especially in a summer after COVID and everything like that, is a great accomplishment, so go you.
I agree. With internships being so few and far between, that is awesome. And another student at Kettle Corn said, internship and working, hoping to get a week off so I can go to the beach for some sun. Totally understand that. I love the sun.
I think that beach trip sounds great, so you know what? Maybe you'll be able to do both. That's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be on the lookout for next week's question and contact us via Instagram or Twitter if there's something you think we should cover.
Until next week, we will be looking out for your responses. And as always, follow us at AU Tigers Talk on Twitter and at AU Tigers Talk Show on Instagram. Tigers Talk, signing out.